The podcast you're about to hear involves true stories, which may contain graphic content that is not suitable for children. Listener's discretion is advised. This is Esoteric Oddities.
Oh, it's
hi, hello. I knew you were off. You were like 3, 2, 1, yeah, and I was like, wait, this is too fast.
I didn't mean to. I already pressed it once. I tried to be too much. You know what I tried to do? I tried to be too much like Freddie from iCarly.
Oh, and it's fine.
I shouldn't have done that.
It's okay. You are Freddie from iCarly. Embody that.
Speaking of body, have you seen his body?
No.
I forget what his name is.
I'll probably be sad. Don't show me.
Nathaniel something.
Yeah, because he has money for a personal trainer.
Right.
Not everyone is like you, John.
He's married now and he's sexy. So.
Wow, he said, I'm gonna have a normal life. I often find myself like tapping the table thinking my phone is there even when it's not there, and I always wonder if people see me doing it.
That means you do need to disconnect.
I know, that's what I've been trying to do. I've been posting lots on Instagram because I found myself tapping the table in order to have my phone screen light up, sir.
Right, to do what? I've been pretty good at that too. I'm glad that you. Hey guys, we're just gonna start off the show by telling you to turn this podcast off and throw your phone out the window. No, because the first thing in the morning, what I would do, it's usually the last thing I was doing at night.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm suffering from the same thing that I did. I deleted Vine back when Vine was a thing because I would lay there. I would literally was late for class because I was scrolling through Vine either late at night or
TikTok and Vine, they're just like so addicting.
You already know. And you know what else they do? What? Like when you're scrolling through them, they hide your clock. So like you can't see what time it is. So they
do that on purpose?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh shit! I was like, why you have to click to like see what time it is?
Every single so you lose time because it's addicting. That's what it is. It's like made to be addicting. And it is. And I think TikTok is fucking funny. Come at me, bitch.
Hit me, bitch.
I love a good TikTok.
I love that for you. So yesterday I took my cat to the vet, and let me tell you, I'm a fucking mess. I went to the wrong place.
Hold on, wait. Let's start about what incident occurred.
Charlie boy over here, he likes to stick his fucking paws through the mail slot because he has a girlfriend outside and he is fiending for her. He's fixed, so I don't know what. Okay, I don't know.
That was definitely the neighbors. I hope.
Yeah, that was like too strong of a.
Yeah, that sounded like it might have been in the bathroom right above us.
You're not wrong.
Everything's fine.
Everything's great. He has a girlfriend and he's fixed, so like I'm not sure why he's fiending for this bitch, but he is. So he got
right.
This,
it's not even like he needs companionship because you have 5 cats.
I have
in your
5
house.
cats in my house right now, including Charlie.
Just trying to make yourself sound less like a crazy cat lady.
It'd be like 5 plus your cat you're talking about now. But 5 is a lot.
It's a
like
lot.
what would be 6 at this point?
I'll bring Buffy over.
I love that. I don't know though.
I don't know though either. It might go really bad.
You're not wrong.
Especially with the Christmas tree.
Okay.
Oh, your Christmas tree looks so good. I saw it online.
It was great.
It looks really
nice. My house looks good. You'll have to come over.
Okay. You'll have to share the Christmas spirit with me. I know. I was literally at your house a week ago. A lot has happened to
We're like, it's gone.
Now
I took my old couches, which was nice.
I know you told me that. Okay. Anyway, back to Charlie.
The story. Sorry. Okay. See, I'm a fucking mess. Anyway, so his nail got crushed, similar like to humans. So it was like black and it looked very weird. It's split in half. So like one was like up top on his paw, like extracted always, and then the other one was like just there. Yeah. So I kind of knew that like something fucked up happened. So I took him to the vet yesterday, and I guess this isn't really yesterday when you'll be hearing it, but it's fine. You'll figure it out. I went to the wrong fucking place because I'm a mess. They were like, we don't have you in. And I'm like, yeah, you do. And I'm like, as I'm arguing, I'm like scrolling on my phone to be like, what the fuck? And I just didn't say anything. I just looked at her and I just turned around and I walked out.
Oh, you didn't even say like my mistake.
No.
Sarah.
She like walked away to like figure it out. And I was just like,
oh.
I'm gonna leave.
I'm
gonna get out of here. Charlie's freaking out at this point. So I get back in my Uber. The place that I actually made an appointment at was nice enough to reschedule me at 11:15. So I let Charlie out. I was able to like go home and like get ready for work and then go back out. So we get to the vet's office and Charlie is just like I know something's happening. I've been to 2 places that smelled like this, and I
don't like it, Mom. Why?
I don't like it, but it's weird. So I usually take him to this place in South Philly, and he does not like it there. Every time he gets to the room, he starts growling. He did not growl at this vet's office. And I told her, I was like, he's gonna start growling. Like, I kept him in the in the fucking carrier for I was like, he's gonna start growling, so I'm gonna let him go slowly. And I let him out, and he didn't growl at all.
Interesting. So he was good.
Yeah. And I was like, I wonder what's the difference. I feel like
I wonder if he knew that he was in a place that's probably gonna fix his fucking paw.
You're not wrong.
Because he wouldn't bite when you were looking at it. He would lick your fucking hand.
Right.
So he's like, please help me, it hurts.
Fix me. So they ended up having to they had to rip out the one that was still in there. Yeah, because it was split. And then the one that was up, they cut it down, but
it still has his vein in it.
Yeah, so they couldn't really cut it down more, but it literally split in 3. There was one part that's small and it was still connected. There's the one part that was up, and then there's another part that's his actual nail that's it's black because he crushed it.
Poor Charlie.
But he was really good at the vet.
That's good. Did they stick anything up his asshole?
Oh, they did, and I had to hug him.
Oh,
but he was purring.
Oh, he's gay.
Now it's Charlie, you gay. He didn't even it didn't faze him at all that there was this thermometer shoved up his butt.
Listen,
and I was like,
him and Marley, I know what they do.
You're not wrong.
I know what they do.
They're best of friends, but they're gay lovers.
Hey guys, this is Esoteric Oddities.
I know you came for the cat stories.
The Gay Cat Podcast. If you're new here, this is what we talk about. Gay cats. What's your gay cat story? Send it to odditiespodcast@gmail.com. You had a pretty festive week.
Oh, do you want me to talk about my Thanksgiving?
I mean, it's up to you. Because, by the way, guys, this is the first time we're recording since Thanksgiving has happened. Because we had pre-recorded episodes. I mean, it's up to you if you want to do that. I don't know if you want.
I said to myself that it wasn't a good idea yesterday.
Okay. I wouldn't.
Maybe
at a later time.
I'm not doing it to protect the bitch. I'm doing it because I'm a classy woman.
Okay. Yeah, thumbs up.
My festive week. What was my festive week?
That was your festive week. You got a new couch. You got the fucking Christmas tree up. You ready to fucking go. You fixing your damn cat. You taking the wrong Ubers and everything's okay.
It's really, I spent $40 in Ubers yesterday.
I feel that.
That's before the actual cat appointment.
I don't really have any crazy stories except this isn't crazy, but it's just kind of fucking annoying. All right. This is a PSA. Lay it on me. This is a PSA.
Tell me.
So I went to the gym the other day, just trying to work off my Thanksgiving jubblies.
I should be there, but I'm not.
So I go at an odd time during the week.
Yeah.
It was maybe 2:00.
Okay.
And I decided this is a new gym. It's the same gym I go to, but I can't go to the one I went to before because I'm trying to avoid certain people that go there. So I go to this new one. I've never been there before. And it's nice. I was like, oh shit, this is nice. Their treadmills aren't as updated as the other gym I went to.
But it'll do.
Right. But it's totally fine. But the weights and everything was everything was so much better. And from that perspective. So literally maybe in this massive place, there's 5 people, including me. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm on the treadmill and I'm doing my cardio. I'm on there for less than 2 minutes. And I know this because I looked to see how long I was on there before this happened.
It feels doesn't it feel 15? You're I'm doing so great. And then you look, it's been a minute.
You want to know what's wild? If I'm lifting weights, I like to listen to music. If I'm on the treadmill, I enjoy listening to a podcast because it makes time go by faster.
I feel that.
To me, if you're
counting the music, all right, one song went by 4 minutes.
Right. Yeah. And I don't really, I like to get pumped up. If I'm running outside, I'll listen to
running outside
music.
Is good.
But if I'm running in place, I find it so much better to listen to a podcast. Are you running right now when you're listening to us? Are you at the gym?
Oh yeah. Do you guys listen to us at the gym? Let us know. We would love to hear it.
Wait, what was I saying? Okay, so here I am. It's an empty field, and it's just me on the treadmills. Everybody else is kind of on the little, what is that called? The fucking...
Stairmaster? That's my favorite one.
There's the Stairmaster.
Oh, the elliptical?
Yes, thank you. And I'm there, and I'm on the second to last one before, the edge. And this fucking man comes over and gets on to the treadmill directly next to me.
No, sir, all these treadmills, and you have to go on the one that's right next to me?
And it was at the beginning of my run. And I was already in my head I was already in my head to get this done. I was like, okay, we're going to do 3 miles and then we're going to it's going to be good.
Right.
So I was 2 minutes in and this fucking man comes over. Not only that, but he smelled pretty bad. Ugh. I don't care if you stink, that's on you. But if I just start my workout and you like,
Stinky bones.
Come into stinky bones, and he just came into the gym. Like, I get it. If you want to not wear deodorant, that's on you. But when there's all these fucking treadmills,
like go over there, you didn't.
Right. And that's fine. You can go stink it up over there. But I'm running and I'm breathing through my mouth. And I feel like your pit stuff is in my fucking mouth, bitch. I was so fucking frustrated. Well, then he wants to talk to everybody and their mother.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why do people think that I want to talk to them at the gym?
I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm poor. I have cords on my headphones for a reason. Like, you can see it. It's visual. It's like, hey, this is the plugs in my ears. Do not fucking talk to me.
My old roommate told me about a story once where this guy, she was on the elliptical and she was like, he had talked to her for like 30 minutes.
Bruh.
Like when?
Shut the fuck up. And then he's talking to everybody and their mother that's walking by because he's on the end and there's like an aisle in between. And all these people are walking by and he's like this fucking like middle-aged Italian man. He's like, yo, Antonio, Mario, Giuseppe.
Luigi.
It's like that fucking girl from, what's that video where the girl was like, come over tonight, 7:00 shop. My mom's making noodle weenie dogs.
Noodle weenie dogs. I love that for you.
I just quoted a TikTok. This is the peak of my career here.
Yeah, it is.
That's what it is. But it fucking pissed me off. And I tried to calm myself. I was like, it's not that bad. People are dying, Kim. But then I was like, you know what? I just want my fucking space. Don't fucking talk to me. Don't fucking talk to me.
I would move.
Well, then he like jumped. He straddled the fucking thing and let the thing go.
I hate that.
I was like, dude, I know.
Why are you on the treadmill?
Because he's going to take a fucking picture of his accomplishment and post it on Instagram.
Did he?
Probably. He's like, Mario, look what I did. Send it to Giuseppe. Go fuck yourself.
Tell him I want the noodle dogs. Are we actually funny? Or...
Yo, I'm dead. Or, yeah, no, because this is just how we normally talk to each other.
You're
it's
not
a good
wrong.
question.
And we think we're hilarious.
I think we're fucking hilarious. And if you don't like us, click off.
Click off, Barbara.
And then I went over to, those, what's it called? Like the water bottle fillers.
Oh, yeah.
Water fountains.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
water bottle fillers.
But the ones at the gym have that thing in the back that like will pour straight into it. Well,
right.
I used that and I don't know what happened.
Oh,
but it didn't turn off. And it kept going. And I felt like that fucking scene of I Love Lucy with the sushi. Uh-huh. I was like about to get my purse and just start filling it with water. I tried everything. I was like pushing the buttons and like the 5 other people in the gym were looking at me and I'm like, oh my God, is this something like, does everybody know this is broken? Did I break it? Okay. Why isn't it all going down the drain? Because when it comes out of that fucking tube, it comes out fast. It's like, they're like, fill your water bottle and get the fuck back to your workout. So
fast,
it's just
quick, and in a heartbreak.
I'm saying it's out here leaking and I'm like, I walked away from it.
It reminds me of that. I think it's the That's So Raven episode where the ice cream machine wouldn't stop and she's like putting it in her hand. Yep. She like grabs her bag.
Yeah, that's me. Like, yep. That was me at the gym. With water.
So when I got here, every time I get to Jonathan's car, it's always the door's always unlocked. And I was like, do you just leave your door unlocked?
I don't, because literally I told Sarah this, but right before you got off the train, I was about to unlock it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, there are some weirdos because it's under like that underpass.
I know that fucking bridge.
Yeah. It sometimes gets a little weird and sketchy under there.
You're not wrong.
Okay, hey guys, you didn't come to listen to us talk
I hope
about...
y'all don't keep your doors unlocked.
Yeah, lock your fucking doors, like your car doors. Because our friend Julia, she, when we were living in North Philly, this woman straight up opened her fucking car door and tried to get in. And tried to fucking get it.
Right, so... let's not say we did.
Yes. But hi, this is a true crime podcast. Sometimes, other times we talk about gay cats and noodle weenie dogs. You have been listening to your favorite podcast.
Woo!
Also, wait, hold on. People were sending us their like Wrapped stories, like the Spotify Wrapped.
I love
we were
that.
on some people's.
We were on mine.
You don't really listen to podcasts, though.
No, but I listen to ours, so that's why I was on there.
I love that. Look at you, just really full of yourself.
Listen, I hate my voice. I don't know. I know you're probably like, why the fuck did you start a podcast then? But it's just like weird to listen to yourself talk.
It is weird.
And then you pick up on things that you say that you hate, and then you're like, I fucking hate myself. It's just a never-ending cycle.
Just the constant hatred on myself. God fucking damn it.
You're not wrong.
So today's topic was chosen by Sarah.
Woo!
And it is... Ooh, hold on. Sorry, I had a little something in my mouth. And it's twins and or doppelgangers. I don't quite know what you did, but I think we were doing
like
twins.
Wrongfully convicted doppelgangers, so like people that look like.
Oh, that's not what mine is.
Oh, what is yours?
You said twins in the text. You said I want to do twins, and I said okay.
Oh, I meant like doppelgangers.
Oh,
like, same thing.
It's not, but we'll go. I love it. I'm fine with
That's
it.
what I was talking about.
That's fine.
Oh, I mean, it's fine.
Work.
Yeah.
Do we abide by any of the rules that we construct for ourselves?
No, it's fun that way.
It's fine.
Like we have a topic and you
break the rules.
You just do what you want with it.
You just do, yeah. I'll take it. I interpreted what you said. Oh, this could be a contention. I interpreted what you said the wrong way, and I did it my way.
Twins. Okay.
You go first.
All right. So in 1851, two men entered the company called Jensen and Bond on Montgomery Street in San Francisco. The manager by the name of J.C. Jensen was knocked unconscious and fled with over $2,000 in gold coin.
Both these men stole?
Well, J.C. Jensen, which is like a partner in this company, stole this guy's money.
Oh, sure.
It'll all
go
into. So, the history of the Barbary Coast begins with California gold rush in 1849. The gold rush was responsible for gold seekers and hordes of gamblers, thieves, not harlots.
No, it's not.
Okay.
That T is silent, baby.
And Harlow's started a unique criminal district. Okay, that's a new one. Criminal district that went on for almost 70 years. You'll start to see that the two men that entered the company, this is where they got the gold coin from.
Okay.
And this is why they stole it.
Okay.
There were all types of escaped convicts and ticket of leave men. So ticket of leave men means like men that have been kicked out of countries for like doing bad shit, and they're like not allowed to go there anymore.
Okay, you don't want that.
No, we don't want that.
Okay.
They gathered from places like Sydney, Australia. This is where a lot of immigration started, which they were 100% criminals. So as of now, like this place is like not where you want to be.
What place?
San Francisco.
Okay, gotcha.
So they called it Sydney Town, which was in San Francisco, California, and it was basically where the gold rush was. And it was just all criminals and bad people. So you didn't want to be there. The criminals that lived in Sydney Town were commonly known as Sydney Ducks.
Sydney Ducks. Is it because they're Australian people? My assumption.
Mm-hmm. Sydney Ducks. Some are Australian, some are British. We got a whole heap of people just trying to find some gold, but they were all bad people.
Right.
One of the most infamous Sydney Duck was a man by the name of James Stewart, better known as English Jim. Stewart had been deported from England at the age of 16 following his conviction of forgery and served almost 12 years in Sydney. He received his ticket of leave sometime during the late 1840s and made his way to New York. So this guy, he got kicked out. They're like, we don't want you here anymore. All you do is start trouble. And
so he's like off to America.
Right.
I didn't really think about the fact that people were doing that.
Right?
That's probably very ignorant of me. Isn't it? That people are like getting kicked out of countries and they just end up in San Francisco.
Right. Or New York.
Right. Well, I guess if that's where the gold rush is, that's like where you do want to be.
Yeah, exactly. There he met and associated with a lot of shady characters and started a new life of crime. Eventually, like so many of his kind, he found himself in San Francisco. So after New York, he was like, fuck this shit, I'm going for the gold.
Go for the gold. How do you think he got there? The fucking train? That would have taken goddamn forever.
Honestly, probably like how else did people get around?
Right.
He rode a bike.
1840s. That's crazy.
Yeah, so definitely a train.
I worked with this dude who did bike the whole country. Not on a motorcycle, like a bicycle.
I don't like that. How?
Yeah, him and his wife did it for like a year. They like traveled the country.
But like some places you can't get like over.
I mean, I think they just did it on the route that you can do it.
Oh, shit. Yeah. That probably took days.
Oh, it certainly did. Definitely more than 2.
It was in San Francisco that he embarked on an extraordinary career of crime, not only in the city, but in the gold fields. It was during this time that he is said to have committed or assisted in more murders and burglaries than any other man in California at that time. In December of delete that.
Don't even edit it out. Just fucking delete it. God damn it.
In December of 1850, Jim was arrested in Sacramento for killing Sheriff Moore of Marysville and stealing $4,000 from the sheriff's home, but he was able to escape after a few days in jail.
Oh, yikes. We got a bandit on our hands.
Right. It is at this point English Jim's story grows to become one of the most celebrated cases of mistaken identities in American history.
Oh, so it wasn't 1980. It was 1880.
Yes.
Okay, got it. That makes a lot more sense about what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's 1851.
Okay.
On February 20th, 1851, San Francisco police arrested Thomas Perdue, believing him to be James Stewart, and transported him back to Marysville to stand trial for the murder of Sheriff Moore. Perdue had mistakenly been identified by nearly half a dozen men as being English Jim, men who supposedly knew Stewart well. He was also identified by J.C. Jensen as one of the two men who assaulted him the night before. So that's where the first part of the story came in.
Gotcha.
And he also stole her money. Perdue protested his innocence and attempted, but it did not work. He tried to prove that he was not Stewart, but they were like,
yes,
"Sir,
you are.
Everyone is saying you are, so you must be." Basically, they were ignored, and the police were like, "We have evidence that states that like you are the person, so
right,
you're cuffed." What was crazy about the similarities between English Jim and Thomas Perdue was that English Jim had a small scar above his left eye and ear, and his left forefinger had been amputated at the first joint, and ironically, Thomas Perdue had the same exact injuries.
Even the finger?
Even the fucking finger.
No.
Right?
Oh my god, that is so fucking unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
This is a simulation.
Okay, so
we are living in a simulation.
You're not wrong.
And he was in the same area.
Yeah,
that John is crazy.
Same fucking injuries.
And he was in San Francisco.
Yep, and this is how like everyone was like, "Well, it's you." They looked alike, and they had the same type of
scars and features and fucking finger. Do you have a picture of them?
Yeah. Do you want to see them right now?
Yeah, I want to see them. I'm eager. I would look it up, but I feel like it'll tell me the end of the story.
Perdue was quickly tried and convicted of assaulting and robbing Jansen and was sentenced to 14 years of jail time. Soon after, he was transferred to Marysville to stand trial for the murder of Sheriff Moore, and also this Jensen guy that...
Oh shit, so he's taken the blow for the murder.
Exactly, because he tried to say, like, it wasn't me, but everyone was like, you look like this guy and you have the same injuries, so, like, what the fuck are you saying? But he was misidentified for the second time as being English Jim. This time the jury found him guilty and sentenced him to death. Fortunately for him, the execution was postponed for several months. Early in July 1851, the real James Stewart, which was English Jim, for whose crimes Thomas Perdue was awaiting execution in Marysville, returned to San Francisco like an idiot and made a bold and unsuccessful attempt to rob a ship in the harbor. The ship's crew was able to capture and basically keep Stewart there until the morning of July 11th, 1851, and the trial of the real English Jim began.
Thank fucking God.
Why would he fucking go back to San Francisco?
Honestly, lucky he did, though. Okay, because this wrong. Thomas dude, can you imagine how horrifying? Like, you can't do anything.
Right, because they
don't give a fuck about DNA in the 18 whatever.
Also, they don't care that you say that you're not. Everyone's going to say it wasn't me.
Right. So it's just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure it wasn't you.
But he's just sitting there sentenced to death for something he knows he didn't do.
Right.
That's nuts.
So very little evidence was presented. And for Stewart, he confessed to a long list of crimes, including murdering Sheriff Moore and assaulting the storekeeper Jensen. And by giving his confession, it exonerated Perdue. So now Thomas Perdue is set free. After his confession was read in court, it was agreed upon that Stewart was to be executed immediately because this man was about to get executed for something that he didn't do. So they were like, you are like scum of the earth. You gotta go.
Right.
Less than 2 hours of being sentenced to death, the real English Jim, basically he was being watched until it was time for him to go. He appeared to be nonchalant about the verdict, and when asked if he wished to make a final statement, he said, "This is a damned tiresome business. Get it over with."
Wow. It's classic English Jimmy for you there.
Right? What the fuck? So he was hanged to death. Hanged?
They say hanged. It doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, okay, same. He was hanged to death, and his lifeless body swung for several minutes before being cut down.
Oh, Lord.
Right. And that was when the career of the most infamous Sydney Duck was, came to an end.
I'm sorry.
What?
Sydney Duck.
Yeah, like, I don't understand.
That sounds like my, like, porn star name. Oh, it's me.
Sydney Duck.
You want to fuck Sydney
Quack,
Duck?
quack. Like, what?
I'm going to tickle you with my little feather.
Right?
I can't. Sorry, back to murder.
It's okay. The real English Jim was dead, and when the members of the Vigilance Committee had taken steps as far as possible to right the injustice which had been done to Thomas Purdue, they rode to Marysville to inform the authorities that the real James Stewart had been hanged, and Purdue was released. Thomas Purdue was at last a free man. The committee gave him a sum of $2,000 because he was held in jail for X amount of days and wrongfully convicted.
They're like, hey, my dude, sorry, but like, you see where we were coming from, right?
You know, it wasn't that deep. Like, we love you, man, but like
from one Sydney Duck to another. It's just
you
like,
know, it's business.
It's just, you come on over for the noodle weenie dog.
Noodle weenie dog.
It's like when you put the I'll show you the TikTok.
Okay,
it's funny.
that.
It's when you put the spaghetti through the hot dog.
Oh,
noodle weenie dogs.
Yikes. Basically, so Thomas Purdue was seen boarding a small boat in the harbor and was never seen again. And that is the story of the English Jim. The
English Jim. That is fucked up, my dude.
Also, I hated that his name was James Stewart, but they called him English Jim because it was getting confusing.
Why? Because James is short for Jim.
Oh, that's true.
Your
attention is all mine. Also, I feel like I'm like not a person.
It's my turn, bitches.
It's my turn now.
So Sunny Han was born on April 4th, 1974 in South Korea. 5 minutes later, her identical twin sister, Gina Han, was born. Even though they were only 5 minutes apart, Sunny was considered the firstborn in the family, which put her in a place of authority over her twin, especially in South Korea.
Yeah, there's like a big sister.
Right, but 5 minute difference didn't matter because it was one came out first, you're the oldest sibling, and then the youngest sibling, even though they're identical twins here. Okay, so we've got Sunny, oldest, and we've got Gina, youngest. So their mother, Boo Kim Han, even made it blatantly known that Sunny was the superior child in the family. During the twins' childhood, the parents split up. Gina was sent to live with her father, and Sunny lived with her mother. So the twins lived separately for 3 years. However, they did see each other in between, so it wasn't like the whole 3 years they didn't see each other.
Right.
When their parents' divorce finalized, Boo Han, their mother, was granted full custody of both girls. So just before the twins entered junior high, the family of 3 moved from South Korea to Seattle, Washington in the U.S., where they were raised for a year before moving to Irvine in Southern California. So they didn't know any English. They literally were reading the dictionary.
Yikes.
And they were kind of... I'm not sure if they were taking classes, but the assumption I'm making from the information I got was they were just being self-taught how to speak English. Clearly, I can't do it very well. And while this was happening, Boo got a job as a cocktail waitress at a casino. So Irvine was and is a great place to live. The city is still rated as having one of the lowest crime rates among a city.
Is this?
California, Southern California. Is in Irvine. I'm sorry, the lowest crime rates in a city with a population over 100,000. So there are 5 high schools in Irvine, and all of these high schools have been consistently placed in the upper range of Newsweek's list of the top 1,300 U.S. public schools.
Wow, thanks.
Bruh, like, why 1,300?
Right.
Also, who's making that list?
Right. Why would you? There's like 1 million public schools and like.
Well, I guess they're just listing their top for people who plan on moving somewhere and want their kids in the best public high school. I mean, I guess it's kind of a good resource.
Yeah.
It was back in the day too. This is in the early 80s when is. I don't know if they're still doing that. Newsweek, let me know. So Boo thought it was a good place to raise her teenage daughters. Did you just rip ass?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ almighty.
And I'm sitting in it.
Okay, let's get back to this story. So Boo, she's working at this casino as a cocktail waitress, their mother, but being around the flashing lights and the money-winning action of a casino excited Boo. You know, casinos, they're fucking built to have people excited and shit. Yeah. They do weird shit in casinos. I'm pretty sure they pump oxygen in there. They like don't have clocks on the walls. They do.
Also, they I'm confused how they let people smoke in them.
Well, they don't want people leaving. They don't want you to go outside.
I know, but I'm like...
That's just what it is. They want to keep you in there, just like TikTok. Just like TikTok.
Oh, did we just find...
We just cracked the code.
The code? This coffee's making me very...
What?
Unwell.
Oh.
I'm just like, I'm jittery.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was the PC. I put the PCP in that one.
Oh, fuck. I'm screwed.
Okay, so she's here. She's queer. She's not, but she's working at this casino. And Boo is staying after shifts to sit at slot machines and play the card table.
Yikes. So she's like, my teenagers are not getting teenaged.
So this created a slippery slope and proved to be a huge downfall as Boo developed a gambling addiction. So while their mother was gambling at work, 12-year-olds Sunny and Gina were usually left at home alone. And this is when the twins really bonded. So with no parental figure, they had to look out for each other, and they did. They both learned how to cook. They would help each other out with homework, and they basically just kind of overall had each other's backs. But Boo's gambling addiction got... Everywhere I read it, they couldn't stress it enough how really bad it got.
Yikes.
Now, personally, I don't have... that I know of a gambling addiction in my family, or at least not my immediate family.
I went to Vegas and like my mom was like, let's sit on the machines, and I was like, you can. Like the thought of losing money stresses me out.
Right. And also I'm not that great at things.
Also I'm not lucky. Like I'm not like lucky enough to like with the game of chance. Like I always lose.
Right, because the game of chance is never on your side.
Right.
The casinos are built to fucking make money.
Yeah, and make you think that you can win.
With all the lights and the sounds and shit. Mm-hmm. However, if there is a Dolly Parton slot, you know I'm a cha-ching on that shit. As I motherfucking should. But I don't mind going to a casino. Sometimes it's like, it depends on where it is. I went to a casino in Atlantic City and it really like kind of made me sad.
Why?
Because it was just like the people, there were like older people there, people like falling asleep in their wheelchairs, and just like the whole place was just not the vibes. And you could tell people were like miserable. I watched this woman, I saw her win a shit ton of money, like thousands of dollars. It showed her winnings. I was like, oh my God, Mark, look at how much she won. And Mark's like, look how much she lost, because it showed how much money she put in. She lost like $3,000 on a fucking slot machine. I was like, honey, you didn't have to be sitting there all day.
That's why I do not like gambling.
So easy to just fucking do that shit.
I'm saying.
But what I was going to say is I had a friend in high school, and her dad had a gambling problem. I didn't know that gambling addiction was an actual addiction, that it like the chemical compounds in your brain react the same way to like winning and gambling as it does with like drugs and alcohol. I didn't understand. It's like euphoria
for them,
right? But it was hard for me to understand. But like, it's a fucking serious issue.
Yeah.
So
you could tell people like when they're sitting at the thing, like who has the addiction, who doesn't. You could kind of see like the.
Oh, I don't pay attention enough to people.
I know you've been here for a while.
I'll sit at a slot machine just to get like a free drink, and then I'll walk away.
I love free drinks.
That's what they do. They pump you full of oxygen and free drinks. It's the place to be.
And alcohol.
So Boo's gambling addiction caused a shit ton of money loss, and she had lost so much that she could not afford to live in their home anymore.
What?
So I read in one article that Boo contacted the twins' uncle. However, I heard in an interview with the people from this story that one of the twins contacted the uncle. So I'm going to say that one of the girls probably contacted the uncle. He lived in the area. His name was, it still is, James Norris. And the girls were like, hey, can we come live with you? Mom's like going through it and we're pretty much on our own anyway. And we're not going to have somewhere to stay. Right. And Mom can't afford it. Right. And Uncle James was just like, yeah, come on over. We'll have fun. So the girls moved 150 miles away. And things worked out. The girls were safe. They were happy. They had a stable home for fucking once. They lived with their aunt and their uncle, and it was just them. And they would go on family vacations. They would go on camping trips all over California. So they had like a nice rest of like their pre-teenhood, entering early teenage years. So everything was great for Sunny and Gina, but not for long. Right. So in the late 1980s, the girls started high school. A root of many problems for many people.
You're not wrong.
Sunny was outgoing. She was likable, easy to get along with. You know the type. Mm-hmm. And almost instantly, she became popular. She had good grades that came naturally with little effort to study. Gina, on the other hand, was not so outgoing. She was nowhere near the popularity of her twin sister, and Gina had to work and study hella hard just to keep up with her sister's grades. Right. So it seems like Gina was getting, and she was the younger one too, so she just kind of was getting the shit end of the stick all the time. So it seemed like their life had drastically changed from what it was when they were staying home alone. They were equals. They were helping each other out with homework and shit. That spring, Sunny was asked to prom, and Gina wasn't. Then Sunny got a boyfriend and Gina didn't. And it seemed like everything Sunny would do was way better than what Gina would do. Right. And this led to a rivalry because though it came easy for Sunny, she didn't want her younger sister to become equals or go above her, because she still had that older South Korean mentality,
I'm better,
right? That I'm the first. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like an ego, and also like just that's what you're programmed to be. So I don't quite know if that would just be ego, if that's,
right. It's kind of learned.
Yeah, your born mentality, and with the social politics, with the cruel politics of high school and all.
Social politics of high school.
It's from Jawbreaker. Is it from Jawbreaker? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So Sunny wanted to be alpha. I already fucking said that. Okay, so Gina knew she was lower on the totem pole, and Sunny liked it that way. So when they were home, Sunny and Gina began arguing over every little thing. Yikes. On one occasion, their argument became a physical fight. However, by graduation day, both girls had put their differences aside long enough to give their co-valedictorian speech. They were both the valedictorians, so they were like up there. They were smart as hell. Both had received their high school diplomas with honors, and they were at the top of the class.
Go, Gina. Go, Gina.
Hey, fuck it up, sis.
Yikes. Edit that out.
So after graduation, so this is after high school graduation, right. They didn't immediately go to college. They worked at, oh God, I don't know why they did this. They worked at the same restaurant together.
Why? They don't like each other.
Right. Both were saving up money. Sunny had planned on going to college, while Gina thought about the possibility of joining the military. Soon enough, Gina was accepted. She got a scholarship to a private university of Laverne, which is in California. And after putting in her 2 weeks at the restaurant, Sunny left her twin behind in their high school town and moved to campus. While Sunny was at a prestigious private university, Gina was waiting on tables. Not that there's anything wrong with that, just going to clarify, but I'm just talking about the differences here. And then she enlisted in the Air Force. She was accepted and left for training. Sunny gained rich friends at the school. Gina gained a few acquaintances at training camp. Sunny bought expensive designer bags to match the ones her new rich friends had. Gina wore a uniform.
Yeah.
See what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
Sunny fell perfectly into the in crowd, and Gina struggled to keep up. So at one point, Gina decided that the Air Force and the military life just wasn't for her. But you can't just leave. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So she put in a request to be released. She noted on her request that her father had fallen ill, but when the Air Force authorities looked into it...
Girl, they checked that shit.
Right. They found that it was a lie, and she was denied release.
Now they know that you lied.
Right. So then Gina went in with a completely different approach. She told the leaders that she was gay as hell. She said, hey, I'm a lesbian. I love the puss puss.
She's trying to get out.
So remember, this was also the early 90s.
Yeah, so like that was like not okay.
Right. Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
We don't know if she's actually gay or not.
Yeah. But she lied to get out.
Right. But
so,
Gina did claim that she was a lesbian. And she was released because of that.
Oh, well, they were like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah, they were like, no, you're... no quiz in his. Are you telling me Christy Carlson Romano's character from Cadet Kelly was not trying to bang Hilary Duff? The sexual tension, baby.
Oh, it was there. Maybe she'll talk about it in her cooking show.
She did. She did. She said she would love to make like a part 2 and have that be like an underlying message.
I'm telling that.
You, Chrissy Carlson, she just had Lelaine on, Miranda from Lizzie McGooby. Bitch, I will never stop talking about
Lelaine. Is she still doing meth? Asking for a friend.
Mirandy. Oh my God, Lizzie.
Mermethy.
Oh no, Lizzie needs her crimper back. Okay.
You stole my crimper to get meth? You're such a shitty friend.
Fucking Miranda. She always had sticky fingers like that.
You're not wrong.
She was, what's it called? A Sydney duck. Don't trust a Sydney duck.
Was.
Okay, so she goes back. Gina, she's gay. She claims she's a lesbian. She goes back to live with her Uncle James. And she returned waitressing, but not at the restaurant.
Oh.
She followed in her mother's footsteps and became a waitress at a casino.
No, girl, you have a gambling addiction in your family.
But she set her goal to become a blackjack dealer. So
okay, we love that. She has some goals.
Okay,
all right.
I love that. Love that. I would be so nervous. Maybe it's just because like I get really intimidated by people who know what they're doing at a casino.
You're not wrong.
If I was like the dealer, like I know that the house usually wins. Like that's how it's set up. But
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know anything. I'll be like, oh.
Who was I just talking to? I was just talking to somebody. I want to say it might have been my old coworker. Well, he's not old, but he used to be a coworker.
He's like now not.
But he was saying that the card dealer made a mistake and they caught it. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. And it changed how much money they were getting. And they said it didn't seem like he was trying to do on purpose. It was just like a simple mistake, which they're humans too. But also, you can't make a mistake when your job is dealing with other people's money in a casino.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be making mistakes left and right. Listen to me. Okay, I hope.
I've been doing my job for 3 years and I still make mistakes.
This is my resume. Hi, I make a lot of mistakes.
Okay.
Hire me.
But I'm human.
I'm human.
I make a lot of mistakes. ... But I'm human.
I'm a person. I'm a furry person.
I'm a person. Oh.
Maybe I should be a furry. Maybe that's my...
Yeah, maybe that's your go-to.
Anyway, let's get back to this story. So she began gambling a lot. Oh. So over at the university, Sunny's life, it was bright and sunny. It was going great. Did you like what I did there?
I love that.
She was well liked. She had nice things. But then her grades kind of started to slip and she lost focus. After
Why? She was partying too much?
Probably. Yeah. You remember how it was.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you have rich friends.
Yeah. Right.
That was me doing cocaine.
Oh, God. So after 3 semesters, she lost her scholarship due to poor grades and class attendance.
Ooh.
So she did what anyone would do in this situation. She dropped out and got a job as a receptionist.
Oh.
So by January of 1996, the girls were now 21. Sunny had dropped out and Gina's gambling addiction had worsened. They were 20 at this time.
Oh, okay.
Not 21. So Gina would kind of do anything to get her chips at the casino. She stole money from her few friends that she had. She forged checks. She stole credit cards. She even stole a check from her Uncle James, who caught her.
Yikes. Like, ma'am, you have nowhere to stay.
Right. But also, I don't understand what it's like to have an addiction like that, so I don't get it. Mm-hmm. But with her life seemingly in a downward spiral, Gina attempted suicide by swallowing sleeping pills and chasing them with a shit ton of alcohol. It's unclear how she got there, but Gina woke up in the hospital where her aunt and her uncle, James, were by her side. Over the course of a few weeks, she recovered, got out of the hospital, and went back to the casino.
Oh.
So one day, her Uncle James found that $20,000 had been stolen from his business account.
Oh my God.
And an additional $15,000 had been stolen from his personal account.
Stop. Also, hi, how do you have that much money in your account?
Right, Uncle Jimmy?
Can you help me?
Come on, just a little Sydney duck. quick. We need help. Like people who are like, I'm weird and quirky. I'm like, no, you don't know how weird this shit gets over here.
Right. I think my podcast.
Our podcast listeners know because this is like...
You're not wrong. They still love us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We're weirdos. So Gina hadn't even bothered to cover up her tracks anymore. And at what point
addicted.
Right. So with no other choice, Uncle James turned Gina into the police. Ooh. Well, he called the police. Police come, and when they arrest her, they find multiple additional stolen credit cards in her wallet on her person. So they're like, you can't even deny it. So Gina Hahn was sentenced to 10 days in jail and was given 3 years probation. At the same time, Sunny's life was fine. She moved back to Irvine. She drove a beautiful BMW.
How did she get all money for that?
She shopped constantly with her friends.
Sounds like me.
Lived a luxe life. But how does a 20-year-old college dropout working as a receptionist afford all these things, you may ask? Well, it turns out Gina and Sunny had more in common than they thought. Like her gambling sister, Sunny also was deeply in credit card debt. So she resorted to stealing money from her friends. Her rich-ass friends to live the same lifestyle she had.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Right. During one shopping spree, she put $1,300 on her friend's stolen credit card. And this was found out because the other friend she was with was like, hey, that's Stacy's credit card. Why the fuck do you have Stacy's credit card?
And she was probably like, shut the fuck up, Becky.
Right. That's what she did. So that friend ratted Sunny out. So
as she should.
And the police got involved. Sunny Hahn was charged with petty theft and put on 3 years probation. So now both twins are put on 3 years probation for different things, including like for fucking stealing shit. Yikes. Right? So this was the start of something terrible.
Okay.
It seemed like once the girls had lived out on their own, this was like their first year out of high school. So this is like, you kind of have a structure when you're in high school. It's like, okay, next year is going to be like 10th grade, and then we got 11th grade, and then like 12th grade. Woo. But then like there's if you don't go to college, there's no guardrails of kind of a set path.
What you do.
At least that's how I'm looking at this case.
Yeah.
So, okay, wait. So their lives spun out of control, and it played out like a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie gone horribly wrong. That quote was taken directly from an episode of Snapped. It is, I think, season 3, episode 4 I watched.
He was really excited about that. I want everyone to know that he was excited to say that. So everybody better pay the fuck attention.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Oh, God. Mary-Kate and Ashley. I used to fucking love them. Well, I mean, I still do love them. Hope they're doing well. So the girls ended up reuniting, and they lived closer to each other. But it came with hidden agendas.
Yeah, they probably tried to steal each other's money.
And they both know that neither of them have money.
Okay.
So Gina stole money from Sunny and drove her BMW that she somehow still had and drove to the casino to gamble away.
Huh?
Right. She's just like, I'm going to steal your shit. I'm going to steal your money. I'm going to use your car. I'm going to go to the casino and I'm going to do the damn thing.
Right.
And that's what she did. So when Sunny found out, she fucking snapped. And she said, I'm the older one. Loosely. She was like, I'm your superior. And clearly that didn't go well. So then Gina started throwing punches. The twins end up physically fighting. During the altercation, Gina broke free from her sister's grip, stole her car once again, and disappeared for days.
Where'd she go?
I don't fucking know. Yikes. But it was like more than a week. I think it was 11 days.
Right.
And when Gina returned with the car, Sunny straight up fucking attacked her. Oh. Gina fought back by pulling out clumps of Sunny's hair. And in retaliation, Sunny threw a cell phone at Gina that broke her nose. This is 1996.
Oh, those cell phones were bricks.
The size of a fucking toaster.
Okay.
So with all of this ruckus, the neighbors called the cops. And when they arrived to find Gina all bloody and fucked up from the Nokia to the face, Sunny, the older, superior one, was arrested and jailed for 72 hours. Remember, this is because both these girls are on probation. So this happened, and they're both on probation. And because Gina's nose was broken, that sent Sunny to prison.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry, jailed for 72 hours. So Gina and her broken nose took advantage of this 3-day vacation from her sister. While her sister was locked up, Gina took on Sunny's identity, used her ID and credit cards
She doesn't even have any money. She's in debt.
I'm saying. She even took her sister's expensive clothes and wore them around town. After the 72 hours of jail time, Sunny returned and all of her friends were like, hey, so your sister's been doing this weird thing where she's been pretending to be
Sunny still has friends?
Right?
Oh,
How?
okay.
I don't fucking know. Then she saw that Sunny didn't really have much money, but the little money she had while she was in jail, Gina fucking took.
Of course.
She fucking snatched that shit. And this pissed her off again. So she locked Gina out of her apartment. I don't know if she changed the lock or not. I think she did. Sunny reported Gina's theft because, like how Sunny went to jail for being on probation, she's like, my fucking twin sister's on probation too. I'm going to send her ass to jail.
Oh, no.
So she does. Police arrive and Gina is sentenced to 1 year in prison and charged with $10,000 in restitutions. How are you going to pay that? I do not know.
Oh, no.
So while in jail, Gina told an inmate that she hated her twin sister and wanted her dead. Hi, bitch, not the fucking place or time.
Like, wait, someone will kill her.
Just the thing. Well, you don't fucking... You're in jail for a year. Just keep your fucking mouth shut if that's like what you're going to do.
I want my sister dead.
God damn it. So the inmate was just like politely nodding and Gina revealed her plan to escape jail, sell gold jewelry for money, use the money to buy a plane ticket, kill her sister, and then fly back to Korea. Once in Korea, Gina planned on taking on her sister's personality. This bitch was going to kill her sister and then be her sister. Bitch, what?
Is she okay?
Right? Because it would be one thing if Sunny's life was how it was at university and she wasn't stealing from people, but it's like her life ain't all that either.
Okay, and you're all like, either way, you're going to be known as a fucking in debt and like person who steals money.
I don't know. This plan is something else. So during her time in prison, Gina was well behaved and she was allowed to leave jail on furlough for 5 hours. Guess what the bitch did?
She went to kill her sister.
During this work furlough, she escaped and didn't return. While MIA from the jail, Gina began looking to hire a hitman and she didn't give a fuck who knew it. She was asking around town. She might as well fucking put a post up on goddamn Craigslist.
I'm looking for someone to kill my sister.
Right. But it didn't really take her too long to find somebody. One of her friends said that her 16-year-old cousin, Archie Bryant, would do it. So Gina connected with Archie, who said he had a 15-year-old friend named Hyoshi John Sayarath. I'm so sorry. Who he would need to help. So Hyoshi John went by John. So I'm just going to call him John. Archie and John. 16 and 15-year-old, okay? So they began plotting. Gina promised the teens, ready for this, a grand total of $100 each to help with the murder of her twin sister. That's right. Archie and John would ambush Sunny in her apartment. They would subdue her, but not kill her because, quote, I want to kill that bitch, is allegedly what Gina said. So, in the early morning of November 6th, 1996, Gina drove with Archie and John from San Diego to Irvine. Along the way, these dumbass bitches stopped at a single store, and guess what they bought?
Tell me.
Duct tape, rope,
gloves,
garbage bag, cleaner,
you could trace that,
and a tabloid.
Oh my god. And a tabloid.
Just a couple magazines.
Just need some gossip in my life.
Bruh, if you're driving that whole way, why wouldn't you stop? You'd be like, oh, I'm going to pick up duct tape here. I'm not giving you guys ideas. Don't do this. But like, this dumb cunt is a dumb cunt.
Don't you think it's a little weird when they are going to roll up and be like, there was duct tape involved and a rope. And
here's my one receipt.
This person, your sister... that we know.
Okay, get ready for it. Okay, ready? So the trio arrived at Sunny's apartment in the early afternoon that day. So they parked near the leasing office and Gina put on her fucking best performance. She gets out of the car. She walks right up to the front desk and she's just like, oh, it's me, Sunny. I seem to be locked out of my apartment. Could you give me the extra key you have? And the leasing office is like, hell yeah, that's totally fine. No problem. Just a small charge. Just, give us your ID. But at this time, Gina didn't have any ID with Sunny's name on it. But don't worry, bitch, because they had a backup plan.
Of course.
With the tabloids in hand, the magazines that they had bought, Archie and John knocked on Sunny's apartment door under the guise that they were going to be selling magazines.
Oh, okay.
This is 1996. Mm-hmm. So John knocked. No one answered. They tried again, and the door opened. Angie Kim, who was Sunny's roommate, answered the door. They told her that they were selling magazines, but Angie said she wasn't interested and quickly closed the door. So they were like, well, fuck, that didn't work. So they go back to the car, 2 hours later, around 3 p.m., Archie and John knock on the door again. Helen Kim, who is Sonny's other roommate, answered the door. Like the response they got before, Helen said she was not interested in buying magazines, but when she went to close the door, Archie pulled out a loaded gun and the teens pushed their way into the apartment.
Let me in.
Helen screamed, begged for mercy, and they held her down on the ground. She pleaded for her life and told them to take whatever they wanted. Archie and John tied her up with rope and duct taped her mouth. While this was happening, Sonny was in the bathroom and heard all the commotion from the living room, so she locked herself in the bathroom. She called 911 from her cell phone, which she luckily brought in the bathroom with her.
Smart bitch, because I know I wouldn't be like that.
This is also 1996.
Oh, wow.
So cell phones, like, yes, people had them,
but not a lot of people
to bring it in the bathroom is like, sometimes if I'm not listening to music, I don't even bring my phone into the bathroom.
Right.
So luckily she had it in there with her. So she called 911. You can hear the phone call online, and she tells the dispatcher that she heard 2 men in her house and she believed that her roommate was being raped. She gave the address, and just after she gave the address, Archie forced himself into the locked bathroom door. So Sonny hung up the phone really quick. Archie was like, "Who the fuck were you just on the phone with?" And Sonny says, "It was just a friend." So Archie grabs her, forces her to the bedroom floor where he ties her up. Sonny was like, "Hey, you can take anything you want, just please don't hurt me." In his response, Archie said, "Shut up or we're going to shoot you." So while this is happening, John is in the living room standing over Helen Kim, who's tied up and duct taped. And to make things go quicker, Archie called John into the bedroom to help tie up Sonny. So while they're in the bedroom, Helen managed to get herself loose and ran to the door, but wasn't fast enough because John grabbed her and said, "I should shoot you for that."
Yikes.
So they then brought both the girls into the bathroom, forced them to sit in the bathtub, bound them tighter, duct taped their feet and their hands, and then they duct taped their mouths all the way like around their head.
Oh no, their hair.
Mm-hmm. So then Archie told John they were, quote, "ready to polish her off. Go get Gina."
Oh no.
End quote. So this is when Sonny realized that all of this had been set up by her identical twin sister. Also, to Sonny, her sister has been in prison. Remember, so Sonny is still under the guise that her sister is still in jail.
Right.
That Gina wouldn't have been on furlough and had the ability to escape.
Right.
So John leaves. He leaves the apartment and goes to the parking lot where Gina is waiting in the car. Archie went into Sonny's bedroom and was sifting through her stuff while the girls were still in the bathtub. And that's when the police sirens were heard. These fucking dumbasses didn't know, but Gina knew that the police station was literally right down the street. So the distance where the police station is from my house, like less than a mile, is how close it was to her house.
Right.
And
I didn't think about this.
And Sonny had already called the police. So Archie frantically ran back into the bathroom. He removed the girls' rope and duct tape, and he told them to tell the cops that the whole thing had been a whole joke. It was a prank. It was a joke. Just please go along with me. So Helen and Sonny are just like, "Hell yeah. Oh my God, I'll totally do that. Just like, don't hurt us before the cops come in here.
Right.
Like, it's totally fine. It was all a joke. Haha, we're having so much fucking fun." The coffee's kicking in. And
Me.
Archie told them to walk outside and go talk to the cops. So in the parking lot, one officer had already been talking to John and Gina, who were sitting in their parked car. When the officer asked who she was, Gina lied and said that she lived in the apartment and was arguing with her roommate, and she was just sitting in her car to like cool off before she went inside, and she identified herself as Sonny. Ooh. Bitch, you ain't it.
Right.
Then Sonny and Helen came out of the fucking apartment in tears.
Like, hi.
Right. Their hair was a mess. They still had duct tape dangling from it. And Archie kind of stuck his head out after them and didn't expect them to fucking snap out of it and run and scream to the police. So he got scared. He ran back into the apartment and closed the door. One officer took the two girls, and the other officers drew their weapons and told him to exit the apartment. And 3 minutes later, he did with his hands up. Archie was placed in handcuffs and put in the back of a police car.
Yikes.
At this time, Gina gets out of her car and she's like, "Oh my God, that's my sister. Is she okay?"
Girl.
The officer was just like, "Hey, we have a lot to deal with right now. Please go back to your car, but don't go anywhere because an officer is going to be over to talk to you in a second."
Like, "An officer, I gotta go."
She gets in her car and she fucking drives off.
Okay.
She drives towards San Diego with John in the passenger seat. So while they're there, they're trying to figure out what the fuck they're going to do because they were like, "Well, fuck, that didn't work."
Yeah.
They stop in Laguna Beach. They withdrew $500 and they knew that they were going to need a new car because they have now been seen at the scene of the crime in that fucking car. So at 7:00 p.m., Gina and John arrive in San Juan. They find a dealership, they pull into the lot, and they attempt to buy a car using Sonny's ID that John had stolen from inside when he was in the apartment. However, the car salesman was like, yeah, that's fine, that's great, but you're just going to have to wait 24 hours for the credit check to get back in order for you to leave the lot with the new car.
Yeah, like there's a process here.
They were like, oh my God, this is the craziest thing. Never mind, we don't fucking want the car because we don't have 24 hours. We gotta fucking go now. So they dip. Gina comes up with a new plan. She's like, why don't we go to the San Diego airport and just rent a car? He's like, okay, that sounds good. So while all this is happening, what they didn't know was that inmate that Gina had befriended, she's out on furlough. So they're just like, this bitch has escaped. And that Gina had befriended in that inmate that she told her little secret to. Well, she ratted her out to the cops and was like, hey, this girl, she said she's going to kill her sister and then steal her sister's identity. So Gina and John didn't know at the moment, but an APB had been put out.
Right.
So around 10 p.m., they arrive at the Alamo car rental office. Gina went inside and presented the clerk with Sonny's ID. She's like, hey, I just want something cute, something fast. Give me a car. When the clerk ran the ID through the system, they saw the APB and the police were called. At 10:30 p.m., the police were surrounding the building. At first, Gina played stupid and she was like, hey, oh my God, this is so crazy. I'm Sonny. Like, you have the wrong person. That's my sister. It's me, Sonny. But then she was just like, oh, I'm just kidding. It's not me. You guys got me. And through the search of her car, I think she actually like kind of fought with the police. Like they got her on the ground and then she fucking stood up. No. Oh. Yeah. So it took like 2 officers to fucking get her. So through a search of her car, police found more, what do you think? Stolen credit cards, more stolen house keys, Gina's own driver's license, and $4,000 in cash. And when an officer popped the trunk, they found cleaning supplies, rope, and trash bags.
Look at that.
They also found a bullet and bullet casings, which matched the ones that were found on Archie. Yeah. They found these in the car, so that linked all 3 of them together. So on Gina's person, like she was carrying this on her, police found the receipts for the gloves, the duct tape, the rope, and other fun fucking party supplies. So now,
they were ready.
Right. Archie, John, and Gina were taken into custody. You dumb fucks.
You dumb bitches.
You can be book smart, but you can't be street smart.
Okay.
This is a great example of that. Gina Hahn.
She said, it's me, I'm Sonny.
Right. During his interrogation, Archie told police that Gina was the puppet master that was behind this murder plot.
As they should.
Right, because she was. And also remember these 2 guys, it's 15-year-old and a 16-year-old. Okay, and I read in one article that Archie was 18, but I'm pretty sure he was 16 and the other friend was 15.
Yikes.
Yeah. So he said Gina wanted to kill her twin sister and assume her identity. So police are like, yeah, this isn't the first time we've heard somebody say that.
Right.
So,
about her.
Right. And it was like Archie and the inmate. So it's like they didn't know each other.
And
so
they
it's like
said the same thing.
Right.
So they were like, okay, this is true.
So Gina was going to pay them a whopping $100. It might have been $1,000. I
hope so.
I want to say that I probably didn't put an extra 0 in there, but I think it was $100. So then they said Gina was the one who got the guns. Gina was the one who planned the crime. Gina was the one who bought the supplies for the cleanup of the carnage afterwards. So then police tell Sonny, they're just like, hey, you know how your sister's in jail? It's the craziest thing. She escaped jail on furlough and she's trying to fucking kill you, bitch. That actually was her master plan. Sonny's like, wait, I'm so confused. Like, what the fuck is going on? So even though she heard Archie say Gina's name, remember when they were sitting in the bathtub and she was just like, go get Gina? Even though like she's hearing all this stuff from the police and from Archie himself, she didn't want to believe it. She was like, yeah, my sister and me fucking fight. Yes, I broke her nose. She
just want to kill me.
But she's not going to try to fucking kill me.
You put her in jail for a year.
Right. So from jail, Gina calls Sonny to convince her that the police were lying to her.
Gina,
the bad one, is calling Sonny the also bad one, but she, isn't trying to kill her sister.
Right.
And she's just like, the cops are lying to you. Everybody's lying to you. This wasn't me. I wouldn't try to kill you. Like, I love you, but like, this is nuts. Like, don't believe them.
This is nuts.
So Sonny's like, oh my God, this is fucking nuts. And she wanted to believe her twin sister so bad. She started believing that the police were manipulating her to believe their story.
Oh shit.
So on October 30th, 1997, Sunny took stand at her sister's trial. So at this trial, she had talked about the hardship that they went through when they were living in Korea. And she talked about their parents' neglect, their poverty, the fact that they were immigrants when they came here. They had to learn basically by reading a dictionary. They had to teach themselves a lot of shit. It wasn't the ideal life. They lived with their uncle. But she also said she loved her sister Gina and that, you know, they were best friends. And she didn't believe that Gina did this. Mm-hmm. This is Sunny on the stand, who was almost murdered by her sister, saying, I don't believe my sister would do this.
Yikes.
So while Sunny is standing there in court, she looks good. She has makeup on. She's looking cute, looking fresh, looking fly. And she looked really professional, which they initially thought was going to be like good for their case on Gina to get her out of jail. Yeah. But the next day wasn't so great. Sunny comes in because she had to stand trial again for her sister. Sunny comes in. She's really unkempt. She has no makeup on. And when she's talking, her speech is slurring a little bit.
Was she drunk? And
then she passes out in court.
Yikes.
So she was taken to the hospital and was suffering from an overdose on sleeping pills. What they think happened was that after that first trial, and she started to hear all the information about what her sister was actually doing. They think that it was taking so much of a toll on her that she couldn't sleep that night, and there was so much going on that she just took too many pills, not to commit suicide, and she overdosed the following day. So she was revived. Again, this is Sunny. This is the innocent one in this case. She was revived, but the trial was held up for a full week. Sunny remained in denial and still didn't want to think that her sister was the killer. But then in trial, she couldn't fucking deny it. Like, all the evidence is starting to add up there, and everybody's just kind of like, yeah, dude, I don't know what to tell you. I'm
sorry to tell you.
But your sister doesn't have the best track record either. Not that you do. But even Uncle James was there, and he was like, I don't think Gina would do this. So I think it's just kind of telling that this was like literally a snapping point.
For Gina.
Right.
Yeah.
So on November 29th, 1997, the jury reached their verdict. So this is a little bit over a full year later. This happened on November 6th, 1986, and now we're in November 29th, 1997. Jury reached their verdict, and they found 23-year-old Gina Han guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Archie and John were found guilty of the same. And Sunny asked for lenience for her sister. She was like, please, like, my sister, I really don't believe is a bad person. I don't know what happened.
Girl, let it go.
Right. But at the same time, they are identical twins.
Yeah. There's like a more emotional connection.
I also have a thought. I'll hold on to it. I'm almost finished here. But Gina was given 26 years to life. Yikes. While people started taking a look at this case, and Gina was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and antisocial traits along with other things. Gina had little insight while incarcerated. She had no emotion about it. She showed not really much remorse.
Yikes, not really making a case for your illnesses here.
So she just kind of was very matter of fact about the whole thing that had happened, but still denied that she even did it. So while in prison, Gina, her antics were still at it. She had written to many men while in prison, planning on what she was going to do when she got out. She got 26 to life, and she's like, okay, well, she convinced some men to actually send her money. One guy from Europe, actually, after talking to him for a year, sent her, I think it was $1,000.
No.
Mm-hmm. She's like, was figuring out how to get housing. She was having people offer her a place to stay when she got out. She was even getting job opportunities. Bitch,
I can't even get a job.
I'm saying, tell me you're fucking with. She's in jail. She's like, here's my resume. I'm in prison. And they're just like, bruh, you're fucking hired. Welcome to Chicky and Pete's.
Right? What the fuck?
So Gina was well behaved and low risk for violence. So the board voted to grant parole for Gina Han, but it was intercepted by the Orange County Office of District Attorney, who opposed of Gina's release. And this is in 2017. So they're just like, hey, her lack of remorse and her lack of mental health attention.
And she's still like, she's like writing all these men for money, like trying to find a job when she gets out. Like something's up.
Right. Exactly. They're like, hey, let's take a look at what she's doing right now.
Yeah.
Like she might be quote unquote well-behaved, but let's take a look at the bigger picture of what's going on here because she's manipulative. If she wants to be well-behaved, it doesn't mean she's a well-behaved human.
It means she's doing it to get out.
Right. Right. So
there's a motive.
She's like, she doesn't have any treatment for her borderline personality disorder, and she hasn't made any, and she also has become an unpredictable threat to society. She's intelligent and manipulative. But guess what, bitch?
Guess what?
On May 24th, 2018, Gina Han was released from prison. Nobody knows where she is.
Wow.
And that's my story.
She said, I'm out, bitches.
She's out. And as for Sunny...
At least she's not starting a commotion.
Well, it's only been a year, so
maybe something will come up.
I hope not. I believe she's in her 40s now. And as for Sunny, she appeared on, I believe she was on that Snapped. I watched a couple different things, and she was on the actual episode, and she talked about the case. Also, just want to say all my sources are listed below. Most of them come from LA Times, courthousenews.com. There was also, oh my God, what was it? It was like new... hold on, wait. I'm sorry. It was all in Korean. I had to use a translator, but it was new.qq.com.
New QQ.
And also Once Upon a Crime podcast. They did a pretty good episode on this case, and so those are just my sources. And so yeah, that's it. Fucking weird, fucking crazy, right?
I love that for you.
But what I was gonna say is something interesting. Is I know that they didn't have the best upcoming, but I'm sorry. What did I just say? Have the best upcoming. God damn it. Fuck my life. But with identical twins, it's, you know how people are like, oh, you have twin telepathy.
Right.
Like, to what extent do they really have it? They were very opposite, but they were both stealing. They were both doing bad things at the same fucking time.
Right. In different ways.
Not exactly knowing the other one was doing it. So that I kind of had in mind.
But I feel like it might have been because of their mom.
Right. Right. Yes, but I think they mentioned somewhere, I don't know how much I believe this, but they said there was one time where Gina got really sick and they were separate when they were living with their parents when they were younger, and they went to the hospital and it was like, oh my God, they ran into the sisters because they both had the same exact sickness at the same exact time, but they didn't really dive into details of that. And I'm just like, is this just for entertainment or did that really happen? But if that is true, they're actually apart but still getting sick at the same time of the same thing. Like, how much of them are they the same?
Right. And
this is a simulation.
Fighting and being like, you're better than me and I hate you for it. Y'all should just come together.
I don't know if they should, because what the fuck?
I mean, like, they shouldn't, but like...
What if they like start just plotting on these big ass like crime sprees?
You're not wrong, right?
It's
like,
scary.
Let's just put our heads together and like conquer it all.
But that's what I was thinking, like in this situation where Sunny wasn't believing that her sister did it. Like, I understand the shock of that, being like, oh my God, she literally almost tried to kill me. But also, what if it was like, now this is crazy, I'm gonna get my tinfoil hat on, but what if it was like Gina like making her do it through her fucking mind?
You're not wrong, because she was doing it and she was like hungry.
Right. I'm hungry. Could use some ramen noodles. Oh my God, I have to leave soon. Oh shit, I gotta leave real soon. My train
is at 4:20 and then the next one is until 5:20, and that's gonna screw you over.
Okay, so we're gonna make that one? Yeah. Okay. Well, with that being said, guys. Oh wait, hold on. Let's do our do you have a fun fact on the tweet of the week?
We didn't say that tweet of the week about the like Starbucks thing, right? You said you should do that and that didn't happen.
No, you did do it.
I did?
Yeah.
Fuck, okay.
So my fun fact and tweet of the week are 2 in 1. This comes from @Wolverine. Oh, I get it, Wolverine.
I
can't. He said, I read the other day that people eat more bananas than monkeys. No surprise there. I can't even remember the last time I ate a monkey. That's usually when somebody would chuckle. Someone out there is laughing. Thank you, guys. And while you look for that, if you don't have one, that's fine.
I don't, because it's the one that I did last week, because I'm a shitty human. But I have a fun fact.
Okay.
The speed of a computer mouse is measured in Mickeys. It was a British scientist who first invented the rollerball device in 1946, and while working for the Royal Navy, but the word mouse didn't get coined until 1965.
Oh, that's cute. Mickey Mouse.
Mickey.
But it was Mickey before it was Mouse.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Interesting.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
The Mickey.
Yeah.
Actually. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Head on over to esotericoddities.com to snag yourself some merch. God fucking damn it.
Go get some merch.
And tell your ugly friends. Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one.
Goodbye.